Day 3 has dawned in Pensacola. The Pensacola Bay Center is the stage. 10 teams' hopes of March glory remain intact in Pensacola. They're chasing that trophy here today. It's the Georgia Southern Eagles and Georgia State Panthers next on ESPN. And you are watching Sunbelt Basketball on ESPN as Day 3 of this tournament commences. Georgia Southern's playing in their third game in 3 days. They will face rival Georgia State, who's making their tournament debut. And with that, we say welcome to New Orleans inside the Bank Plus studios. She's Amanda Poole. I'm Noah Frary. And the story early on this tournament, Georgia Southern playing in their third game of this tournament. You have to question how much fuel is left in that tank, Amanda. How does playing their rival factor into that discussion?
Well, in the words of Georgia State head coach Gene Hill, he said, "We are their Red Bull. It doesn't get much better, more fuel than a rivalry matchup in March." These kids know each other really well. They split that regular season series, but now it's win or go home.
A 60th overall meeting between these two, and a matchup that we want to spotlight as we take a look at our players to watch is in the interior. And for Georgia Southern, Leah Johnson has been a huge early tournament story.
Yeah, head coach Hannah Hayden has her focal point. Johnson averaging 25 points and 12.5 rebounds per game the first 2 rounds of this tournament. She had a career-high 6 assists yesterday, so not only producing but creating for her team. She's been active and uncontainable.
Now, Sunbelt Defensive Player of the Year, Mahogany Matthews for Georgia State is who the answer could be.
Yeah, the so-called mistake eraser. Matthews averaging around 7 points per game, but it is her defense that will be critical today. She leads the Sun Belt in blocks and steals. In fact, her 97 blocks sits top 2 in the nation. Mo held Johnson to just 3 points the last time these two matched up. See if she can get the job done today.
Well, a lot to unpack ahead of this game. Amanda, take us through our keys to victory, brought to you by Bank Plus.
Well, the biggest thing for Georgia Southern is going to be minimize those turnovers, something Georgia State does so well with those steals, and they want to feed Leah Johnson, of course.
Well, the opening tip goes to Georgia State, and right off the bat, it's Michaela Tolliver taking it inside. A miss, and it's poked back out. A Georgia State team that averages close to 65 points per game. Making a debut here this season in Pensacola. Tolliver triggered the 3. Meanwhile, a Georgia Southern team that has been a story in this tournament. They will play in their third game in 3 days. Leah Johnson has been the headliner. India Green, though, the other post, wearing 34 today, has been huge on the glass. Here is the aforementioned India Green. Kicked back up to Nicole Wynn. Wynn had a big day yesterday, comes up short on the 3. As we get a look at the Georgia State lineup, Mahogany Matthews, the anchor of this team, 97 blocks coming into today's game.
Yeah, and in the Sun Belt, Matthews at 97 blocks. The next best has 48, so she is over twice the amount of the next best Sun Belt blocker.
Some good math early on in the day, partner.
It's the coffee.
Exactly. That quad shot there at Starbucks doing you well. First look at Crystal Henderson, the throw line, last year's freshman of the year in the conference. There's her head coach, Gene Hill. 7th season guiding this Georgia State program.
Yeah, he says Henderson right now is playing to the level of expectation. He's been waiting for her to.
Connects on the first 2 free throws, and we have our first points of this game. Amanda, we touched on it in the open. For Georgia Southern, you're playing in your third game in 3 days. Where do you expect that to see it cause issues?
I mean, obviously later on in the stretch, right? You to that third, fourth quarter maybe, after you've been playing a lot of minutes, and you'll see that in your bigs too, the ones that don't normally average over 30 minutes a game.
Addie's 3 was long. And now an offensive foul will go against Georgia Southern. Johnson. And we told you the 60th all-time meeting of this rivalry matchup between Georgia Southern and Georgia State, and maybe we'll see something as good as what we saw earlier in the regular season, a game that went to triple overtime.
Yeah, I remember head coach Hannah Hayden for Georgia Southern saying it's kind of special to be a part of a triple overtime game. It's very rare, but that definitely, of course, being a rivalry game, anything can happen.
So Leah Johnson picks up an early personal. Here's Tolliver. She will take 1 out of every 4 shots for Georgia State in this game, most likely. Here's Nakaya Mays-Prince at the top. Georgia Southern has really emphasized the interior, particularly with Leah Johnson in this tournament. Mays-Prince open, missed the 3, and Matthews has the rebound.
Georgia Southern was able to put up 6 threes yesterday.
Holloman with the left hand.
The threes aren't falling now, and Georgia State picking up a few points here.
These two teams split their regular season meetings. Georgia State winning in triple overtime. Georgia Southern winning the matchup earlier in the season. Looking inside for Johnson, count it. And she gets going on day 3 of these championships.
And when she gets going, this team gets going as well. Great job to really spread out the floor there, make that defense come out and attack the perimeter, leaving Leah Johnson wide open there on her block. Great pass by Quinn.
Matthews drew the foul, so both star bigs with an early foul to work around. And Johnson with the emphatic block.
We talk about Matthews being such a phenomenal blocker, but Leah Johnson gets the job done on her own. She's got 47 on the season so far.
Hannah Hayden's team playing their best basketball here at the end of the year. They've won 4 straight now. They've never won 5. This first-year head coach making some noise in Pensacola as Matthews misses the 3. Second chance created, and it rolls in. Holloman has her second basket. Some full court pressure here for Georgia State. Gwynn looking inside, threw it away, and now Leah Johnson picks up her second personal.
That was the big key to having Leah Johnson on the court. Coach Hayden telling us that she's gotten into foul trouble several times throughout the season, and you need her on the court.
Johnson has been so good throughout this tournament of not getting in that early foul trouble. It's led to her averaging 25 points per game over the first 2 games of this tournament. But now she will have to sit with 2 personals as McKenna Eddings checks into this game.
Georgia State with some really nice on-ball pressure to force these turnovers early.
Crystal Henderson with the basketball, working downhill, throws it up and gets it to go.
Henderson feeling good. Just attacking that lane, finding her way to the rim and finishing there. Take another look at this. Big step from outside the rim there, tosses it up and in.
And the hand motion to beat at the end. Henderson feeling good here early on. Henderson coming from a family of hoopers, 5 siblings playing Division I college basketball. Her brother Scoot was a first-round pick of the Portland Trail Blazers in 2023. She's just a hooper. The double team comes. And another foul. We've seen quite a few whistles here in the early going. 6th foul combined on the 2 teams, and we're not even 4 minutes in.
Well, you knew that was going to come with Georgia State and their defensive intensity, causing problems for both sides.
Jean Hill has guided this program to winning seasons in 2 of the previous 3 years. They're 500 coming into the tournament. The 3 misses, and off the hands of Henderson, nearly took out the gentleman taking pictures underneath the basket.
Georgia Southern yesterday got off to a really hot start against ULM, knocking down 6 threes in that first half, and they just haven't been able to get that going here, especially with Leah Johnson out. They're going to need something.
Eddings trying, airballed the 3, and Henderson pushing. A Georgia State team that loves to play at a fast pace. Matthews sets the screen. Tolliver from the free throw line. And the rebound there to Akinsola, who just came into the game. Gwynn lost it. Maze Prince defense. Tolliver off the bottom of the rim, gets it back and finishes.
Lucky she beat everybody down that court to give herself a second chance.
And Hannah Hayden is not pleased with how her team is playing. Georgia State staked to a 9-point edge here, and Hannah Hayden calling the early timeout. It's been all Panthers early.
Navigating day-to-day activities while experiencing joint pain is tough. Andrews makes it better. Our team will create a plan of care just for you to help you regain mobility and reduce discomfort. From diagnosis to treatment to rehabilitation, let Andrews make it better.
Over 150,000 strong, the JMU Alumni Association offers opportunities for Dukes to stay connected to their Madison experience. We do this by promoting alumni successes and building a culture of sustained investments in James Madison University and our students. We are advocates, volunteers, mentors, and donors. We bleed purple, we are Dukes. Dukes from day one, alumni for life.
The heart of Louisiana's Cajun and Creole country, a melting pot of generations passing along a recipe of joie de vivre. Live music, boiled crawfish, and the smell of gumbo signify the season. This is Lafayette, a parish filled with culture and hospitality unlike any other. It takes more than a quick visit to understand why we're the happiest city in America. Start planning yours. Allons à Lafayette.
Georgia Southern playing from behind, and they've had a strong start to this tournament, wins in each of the first or second round, but you question playing for the third time in 3 days. How would that look? And the early returns haven't been great, but give Georgia State a ton of credit.
Yeah, their defense is doing exactly what they're known for. Top 16 in the nation in steals per game, and they already have 3. And those are costly turnovers for Georgia Southern. Georgia State's got 5 points off of those turnovers, and that quick start for Georgia State really putting Georgia Southern behind.
Hannah Hayden's team trying to figure things out, and they will have to do it without Leah Johnson, who picked up a couple of early personal fouls. And Amanda, off air, you and I were having the conversation. How long can you keep Leah Johnson on the bench? I'll ask you on air.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see her start in that second quarter, but I'm no coach. Coach Hannah Hayden said that she has experience, you know, with Leah Johnson getting into foul trouble, so I'm sure she has a gauge on when she needs to get back in there to make something happen.
Simmons with the basketball, slips it to Akinsola, who's heading to the free throw line. And I think an important part of that calculus is probably how tightly the bigs are being officiated right now. Johnson has the 2 personals. Green has a foul, so does Matthews. And so as a coach, you kind of have to understand the tenor of this game.
Yeah, coaches and players the vibe for the officials here for the Sun Belt tournament and who they're paired up with and how they're calling the game. Leah Johnson sitting on the bench trying to gain some perspective.
Patience Williams was called for the personal there. A Georgia Southern team that's had a lot of trouble at the free throw line this season. But Akinsola hits them both here.
Yeah, they hit a couple against ULM that really sealed the win for them yesterday.
So a 7-point Panthers advantage, looking to build on it. The 3 for Williams misses. Underneath is Williams, and She will be fouled. Actually, apparently they did not call foul on that. Henderson took the three. The rebound for Green. Akinsola with it in the middle. And it will stay with Georgia Southern.
With Leah Johnson out, you look to see India Green really try to step up, crash those boards, and produce something for Georgia Southern.
Akinsola lost the basketball. That has been an issue this year for her at times. Part of why there was the change at point guard made late in the season to Maze Prince. Here's a turnover on the other end. Thrown ahead, Simmons running the floor, has the finish in transition.
Georgia Southern really needs to even out these possessions. Georgia State already with 15 field goal attempts compared to Georgia Southern's 7. They need to start making those turnovers count.
The finish for Maya Williams. Clara Rossini checking into the game for the first time, wearing 20 in white for Georgia State. They lead by 7 as Akinsola goes straight to the hoop.
What a drive. I'm pretty sure she picked up her dribble all the way up there on the free throw line, but 2 big strides and she's there to the rim.
Athleticism has never been a question for Buki Akinsola. Nearly forced the turnover there.
Good little pass there, moving down the floor. Great fast break point for Georgia Southern, trying to get back in this one.
Maze Prince checking out. Shanti Simmons, who had that basket a moment ago, making her 3rd consecutive start here in the postseason. Maya Williams with another 2.
Just taking it all the way, just reading that defense, realizing, hey, they're not stopping me, I'm gonna keep going.
Georgia Southern trying to find offense with Leah Johnson on the floor. She's accounted for 50 points through their first 2 games of this tournament. They need India Green to get going. She won't there. Maya Williams driving on Gwynn and threw it up and it goes in. She'll head to the free throw line.
Great strength by Williams there, taking that baseline drive to the rim, somehow pushing that ball up for a shot. Jackson really trying to guard her there.
So Maya Williams at the free throw line, 6 points here in the early going. She's known for her three-point shot, but the strength there on full display as she sinks the free throw. The lead is double figures. Who would you emphasize here, Amanda, with Leah Johnson off the floor?
Well, like we talked about, India Green, we know what she's capable of when it comes to her rebounding skills, but now it's time to produce offensively, see if they can get her posted up, take those mid jumpers, or just drive and draw fouls.
Green for the free throw line, cashes in.
There it is, a nice mid-range jump shot for Green. Able to pull up there, create something. They'll look for her again.
She had just 4 points in that round 2 win yesterday. Had been averaging close to 16 in her previous 5. The foul. And with Georgia State in the bonus, they will head right back to the free throw line. Anna Hayden trying to have some conversations with the officials. There have been a lot of early foul calls in this game, particularly against Georgia Southern. 6 in total already.
Well, when it comes to free throw shooting, Georgia State really does have that margin for compared to Georgia Southern. Georgia State shooting 72% from the charity stripe. That sits 4th in Sun Belt play. Meanwhile, Georgia Southern bottom of the conference.
Igosa Abasui connects on both free throws. This high-pressure defense for Georgia State, it's been amongst the nation's leaders in steals this season. Over 12 steals per game during the regular season. Jones fouled. And that'll be on Mahogany Matthews. So now both bigs in foul trouble. They have been officiated extremely aggressively early on in this game.
The freshmen come in here attacking the paint, going right at the post players, trying to get that ball up, and rewarded with putting Matthews in 2 fouls now.
Matthews a little bit confused there on the foul, might have had a case. So now the 2 star bigs have been removed from this game in foul trouble.
Right, as a coach, whether you think it's right or wrong, or you agree with it or not, you have to be ready now for the way they're calling this game. Maybe you tell your guards to drive some more.
Jones missing that free throw, making her tournament debut. Has played sparingly at times this year, but when she has been on the floor, she's been highly effective. Coming into this tournament, shooting 74% since early January in a limited sample size. Henderson comes back in for Georgia State. Panthers have led by double figures for most of this first quarter. Rossini swings it for Henderson, guarded by Akinsola. And a nice defensive play. Jones able to get it across midcourt without coughing it up. Now Jones drives and throws it up. It goes.
Talk about being a spark off the bench for this team right now. Defensively getting a steal, following that up with a pump fake and drive baseline for a bucket. Georgia Southern needed Jones.
Tolliver gets downhill, off the glass, no good. She'll get her own offensive rebound. Henderson trying to get free. Locates Holloman, who takes the 3. It comes up short.
Both teams haven't been able to find a shot behind the arc.
They combined 0 for 9 from downtown for these two teams as Tolliver gets in the passing lane, but called for the carry in transition. It's fair to say this has just been an interesting start to this game for really both sides.
Yeah, well, that's what you get when you have a tough defensive team like Georgia State. There's going to be a lot of turnovers, a lot of steals, ball going back and forth with fast breaks, but Georgia Southern just trying to keep up here.
And add in the fact that there's just been a lack of flow to this game with 10 fouls already. Akinsola lost it.
Well, yeah, both teams losing their bigs down low changes the landscape of their offense.
The shot clock off here at the end of the first quarter. Georgia State has led by as many as 10. They've been the better team early. Tolliver guarded by Jones, and she'll throw it out of bounds. A couple of sloppy possessions here for Jean Hill's side at the end of the quarter. Just under 10 seconds to go in this first quarter. Plenty of time here if you're Georgia Southern to get a good shot. Akinsola gets downhill, off the glass. She converts, and Georgia Southern back within 5 at the end of 1. They weather the storm. Georgia State off to the hot start. Both bigs in foul trouble. But right now, Panthers up by 5 after 1 in Pensacola.
And now, Vince, please direct your attention to the video board. It's in the QR code. It is time to vote for our song of the game. Our options this morning are Wagon Wheel by Darius Rucker, Hot Blooded by Foreigner, and Water by Tyler. Vote now to hear your favorite song coming up at halftime. And now, Vince, please welcome the Georgia Southern cheerleaders to the floor. It's time for our SPC t-shirt toss. Folks, let's hear it. Who was a free t-shirt?
A 5-point edge for Georgia State after one quarter as we get a look at our stats through one quarter. The glaring one right now, neither team has been able to find any success from downtown, a combined 0 of 10.
Which we knew that going in. These aren't teams that knock down threes all the time. They do like to run their offense through their bigs, but the point now with their bigs in foul trouble. What are they going to lean on if they can't get to Leah Johnson or Mahogany Matthews?
Both Matthews and Johnson each with 2 personal fouls, and we've talked about this storyline as well. Georgia Southern playing in their 3rd game of the tournament. Our graphics crew in the back working hard. These are the number of minutes that these players have played already in this tournament, and at some point that's going to show up.
Well, we're starting to see some bench players come in for Georgia Southern too. Some players we haven't seen this tournament so far, and that's what Coach Hannah Hayden's going to have to do because these numbers are crazy. But then again, it's March, and a lot of players just dig deep, find that adrenaline to fuel them.
Hannah Hayden was furious a moment ago. There was a turnover there right as we began the second quarter. She cannot be pleased with how her team is playing early on. 8 turnovers. If there has been a silver lining, they have shot it pretty well from the field so far, 50%, 6 of 12. Georgia State right now shooting just 35%. And a blocking foul underneath goes against Akinsola. That'll be her first personal.
Well, the way they've been calling this game, it's no surprise that guards are wanting to take it to the hoop right there, trying to draw something, get to the line.
Kaylee Addy at the free throw line. She is one of the snipers, as her head coach calls her. Her and Maya Williams, 2 great 3-point shooters. Addy, though, known a little bit more for her explosiveness off the bounce. That's what we saw there.
Right, yeah, her and Williams will sit top 17, top 18 in 3-pointers per game in the Sun Belt, like this. But Addy been able to give Coach Hill something different.
Gwynn pushing it up the floor quickly, gets to the rim, couldn't finish. Simmons with the offensive board. Now Eddings almost lost it. Ball on the floor, it's picked up. Here comes Addy in transition, driving right at Simmons, who stuffed her. A track meet, and Gwynn has it taken away. Pitched ahead, Addy, cherry picking, the foul.
Talk about defense turning into offense, turning into defense, and back to some points for Georgia State. Way to follow through this play. Addy running the floor here, wide open court for her to lay that one in, and then Simmons catching a foul there late, trying to block that one shot.
Simmons draws the foul, and Georgia Southern has been sloppy in the foul department here early on. all 5 starters each with a foul. Players coming off the bench with one. Leah Johnson still sitting. Rather, she just came back on the floor with the 2 personals. Addie with 4 points here in the second quarter, and the lead is 9. Pressure here on Mays Prince, and she'll throw it away.
That's what that on-ball pressure does. Even if you have a wide-open Leah Johnson, you've got 4 hands in your face, and you can't throw it over.
10 turnovers here early on in this game for Georgia Southern. They just have not been able to execute the game plan early on today. Kaylee Addy will use the screen. Guarded by Simmons, who had the foul on the last time down. Tolliver directing traffic. Gets downhill into the body of Johnson and able to finish.
There's a reason why Tolliver gets the ball so often. She's not only a creator, but a facilitator, motioning her post to set screens.
Green locates Johnson, and she will head to the free throw line. Foul will be on Holloman.
Tolliver saying, hey, set this pick for me. I'm going to drive to the basket right here. 2 defenders, doesn't matter. Sinks it.
And probably fortunate right there for Leah Johnson. She put herself in a position where she could have been called for the foul.
Got to play smart. I mean, she's got so much experience in this game at all different levels. Coach Hayden trusting her right now, bringing her in early in this second quarter with 2 fouls.
Exactly like you hope she would.
Well, you just don't want this deficit to get too out of hand.
It's always the fine line, especially at that big position of when you bring those players back in, because it's so easy, particularly in a game like this, to draw that 3rd personal. Tolliver drives amongst the trees, kicks for Holloman. Holloman throws it up, and Johnson cleans the board. This Georgia State defense, they are in every passing lane right now.
Very active. We talked about, you know, they're top 16 in the nation with steals per game, and it's because of this on-ball defending. Just active hands, get in your face, overwhelm you. You can't even see the next pass.
3 players on this Georgia team with over 50 steals this year coming into today. Akinsola finds Green underneath.
When you can get the pass out of the trap, then you've got a wide open layup, but it's a lot harder said than done.
Mays trying to deny Henderson the basketball. Here's Addy. Akinsola playing good D. Deep in the shot clock. Henderson penetrates. Teardrop is good.
Henderson now with 6 or 7 points for Georgia State. Really elevated her game towards the end of the season, something Coach Jean Hill was waiting for from their point guard.
Almost 19 points per game in those final 4. That one out of bounds. It will stay with Georgia Southern.
Akinsola wide open. Green lays it in.
That's just perfect execution there for Georgia Southern on the press break.
Well, you know Coach Hayden was walking through that probably during practice, just knowing how well this Georgia State team applies pressure.
Jamiria Jones back into the game. It's into the hands of Henderson. Down low, Patience Williams called for the travel.
And that's what Leah Johnson can do, not having to block it, not having to get a big rebound there, but just her presence, putting up a wall to really slow down this Georgia State team.
Georgia State, though, right now maintaining that 9-point advantage. The lead has been as many as 10 for the Panthers over their in-state rival. Johnson's not been able to get open inside. Akinsola reins in the 3, first of the game for Georgia Southern. Will that open things up?
Great sign for the Eagles just to see that ball go through from the perimeter, something they're going to need to rely on if they can't.
9 first-half points for Akinsola. She's stepping up in a big way. Back in Georgia State. She gets the pass. It's deflected out of bounds and off of her leg. A huge three a moment ago by Buki Akinsola.
Just wide open, a late closeout by Georgia State. Drills it. Akinsola sparking something beyond the arc for Georgia Southern.
Akinsola had 12 yesterday. It was her most since December 29th, the first game of Sun Belt play. Following it up with another good performance here. Akinsola going into the post. And the foul will be called on Patience Williams. She was the replacement for Mahogany Matthews, and now she has two personals.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle down there all night. Williams saying, hey, she's pushing me. Yeah, they're pushing each other down there in the paint. Just battling for position.
Short inbound to Maze Prince. Wide open is Green.
Great job by Green to be active there, just cutting straight down the court. And Maze Prince, a great facilitator finding her.
Oh, that a perfectly executed blob right there. Baseline out of bounds. Still goes down as one of my favorite words in the game of basketball.
So I've heard. We've heard this multiple times now.
Henderson tried to scoop it up and in. Green rebounds. Running the floor is Jones. Off the glass, no good. Out of bounds, it goes back to Georgia State.
Jones taking that layup directly on. Should have went to the side to grab that backboard.
Georgia State hasn't scored in over 2 minutes. What has Georgia Southern done well defensively?
The presence of Leah Johnson in the paint, that's what they were missing in the first quarter, and now guards are actually getting challenged.
Tolliver had to give it up. Williams threw it up, and Green has the rebound. Akinsola into double figures.
Akinsola has been everywhere in the paint. From the perimeter, she's the one getting down the floor in those transition, those fast break layups. She's on the move.
Georgia Southern cutting the deficit to just 2. This team playing in their 3rd game in 3 days. Gene Hill said, we're gonna be their Red Bull, and right now, they're playing some inspired hoops here in the 2nd quarter. Addy trying to end the run, can't. Georgia Southern can take the lead here with a 3. They have not led in this game. Akinsola with a career day. 14 in the first half, a new career high. A second 3, and Georgia Southern has the lead.
Akinsola boosting her team here, yelling, let's go, let's go. She has confidence in her team, and her team has confidence in her, giving her back the ball. Back-to-back 3s for Akinsola.
Navigating day-to-day activities while experiencing joint pain is tough. Andrews makes it better. Our team will create a plan of care just for you to help you regain mobility and reduce discomfort. From diagnosis to treatment to rehabilitation, let Andrews make it better.
Georgia Southern's Buki Akinsola having a career day so far. 14 points with 4 minutes and 4 seconds to go in this first half of play. She was the starting point guard when this season began for Georgia Southern. Multiple stints in the starting lineup, but in early February, Hannah Hayden had to have a conversation, a transparent conversation with her about the number of turnovers that she had. They made the decision at that point to make the switch at point guard to Nakaya Mays-Prince, who's been excellent down the stretch of the season, but Hannah Hayden applauded Buki Akinsola and her willingness to come off the bench, stepping up for her teammates, saying she was a great teammate down the stretch and now being rewarded here in March.
Well, Coach Hannah Hayden coached Buki Akinsola at Moberly Area Community College, so they have a lot of experience together and really know each other well, and that's why they were able to have that transparent conversation.
Tolliver gonna pull for two, and a good response out of the timeout. And Amanda, you know as well as I do, those conversations can go off the rails. You can have a player who starts to sulk, and that's not what Akinsola did, and I think that's a big testament to who she is as a person and as a player.
And to the relationship with the staff as well, coming here at Georgia Southern, trusting her coach's decision.
Mays-Prince has her first basket as Georgia Southern regains the lead. Felt like Georgia Southern probably needed a fast start in this game, playing in the third game in 3 days. They didn't get it. Johnson was in foul trouble, but they figured some things out, and suddenly they're right in this contest.
Well, Coach Hayden yesterday said that they are finding a way, and that's exactly what they're doing today.
Find a way to get a steal here. Mays-Prince driving in transition, kicks it to the corner. Akinsola with a season high of 2 threes here today already. Fuller sets the screen. Akinsola's got it. Kick to the corner. Jones finds Green. Great offense, but couldn't get the finish.
Yeah, great pass by Jones. I don't even think Green was ready for that one.
Tolliver got a step on her defender, pulls, and the shooter's touch.
That's a tough shot to make right there, but Tolliver, just a skilled guard, able to sink that one in.
So a 1-point Georgia State edge as we go under 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. Good help defense there from Tolliver. She poked that one out of bounds. Nicole Gwynn checking back in for the Eagles. Jones comes out. Gwynn reminded that you have to tuck in the jersey when you come back in.
Doing the little things, it's part of it.
Under 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Gwynn looking inside for Fuller. It ping-pongs around and now into the hands of Mahogany Matthews, who's back into this game with 2 personals. And Georgia State gives it right back.
It's just a forced pass there. They're trying to get the ball up the court, but throwing over 4 defenders.
Far too many turnovers for both sides in this first half. 13 now for Georgia Southern, 8 for Georgia State. Gwynn's guarded by Henderson. Mays-Prince's show now. Gives it up. Gwynn, the 3. Short. Green with the offensive rebound. And Georgia Southern take advantage. They can't. Akinsola not on the same page with Fuller. Here comes Holloman. Wild shot. And now a foul on Maya Williams.
Georgia State unable to capitalize on some of these turnovers they're forcing and getting back down the court and just missing some layups here or turning it back over.
You knew Georgia State was going to cause a lot of havoc in this game. They've done that early on with 11 steals. That's right at their season average already in the first half. Holloman coming out. Georgia State needs Mahogany Matthews to be careful here in this final minute. Playing with 2 fouls. Green, what a spin, it goes down.
India Green, top 6 in the Sun Belt in points per game and rebounds per game. That paint is her home, able to move freely there.
And for all the talk about Leah Johnson, it's been India Green who's had the better overall season. As Henderson gets downhill, Fuller will draw the foul, and Henderson will go to the free throw line. Nine different Georgia Southern players have at least one personal foul in this game. They grabbed the ball back on the free throw attempt there. Rossini was coming in. This is a sub to get Matthews off to preserve just the 2 personals heading to the third. There was a battle for the free throw, but we're in the double bonus. Gone are the days of the 1-and-1.
Tensions are high. It's a rivalry game. People just want that ball. They want possession here, closing out this first half.
Henderson hits the second. 8 points here in the first half. So now Georgia Southern can all but hold for the final shot of this half. They trailed by as many as double figures in this opening salvo. And a chance here to take the lead at the end of the second quarter. Akinsola gives it up to Green. Now Gwynn. Green somehow made that catch.
Green off balance, making it happen.
Now Tolliver loses it. Time to get a shot off Mays Prince. It's good if it goes, and it does.
Mays Prince to cap off a great first half for Georgia Southern.
Last year at this tournament, Georgia Southern hit a big 3 from near half court. Mays Prince has another one here. And Georgia Southern with a 5-point edge after one half.
Georgia State steals, but here Mays Prince giving it right back with the half-court shot.
A big basket for Georgia Southern. They're running on fumes. 3rd game in 3 days. And right now, Georgia Southern, this engine is firing on all cylinders. After one half in Pensacola, this rivalry is living up to the billing. Georgia Southern by 5 at the half. The 2025 Sun Belt Basketball Championships are brought to you by Jersey. The 2025 Sun Belt Basketball Championships are brought to you by Jersey Mike's, a sub above, by Vivan U, the new era of event ticketing, James Madison University alumni, Dukes from day one, alumni for life. Visit alumni.jmu.edu. Trade in and trade up to a new Kia at Pensacola's Kia Autosport. We want to see ya. And by SoldOut.com, the official ticket resale marketplace for the Sun Belt Conference. Welcome back. It's halftime in Pensacola, and it was another exciting year of Sun Belt Conference women's basketball as we get a look at the major award winners in the conference, and they were painted purple by the James Madison Dukes. Peyton Daniel taking home Player of the Year. Rose Scott's the 6th Woman of the Year. But, Amanda, I want to park on Defensive Player of the Year, Mahogany Matthews. She was an offense's worst nightmare this season.
Yeah, the 6'1" force, second in the nation with 7 blocks this season, averaging just over 3 blocks per game. Head coach Jean Hill calls her a mistake eraser. Told me earlier this year that she wanted to be Defensive Player of the Year, and here we are, Noah.
Now, James Madison, Sean O'Regan, first-time Coach of the Year after a special regular season for the Dukes.
A perfect regular season, 18-0 in Sun Belt play. The 4th undefeated conference season for Coach O'Regan, sets the program record with 27 wins in the regular season. An elite defense and offense, putting them in that national spotlight this year.
His team was led by a dynamic duo, and as we take a look at the first-team honorees in the conference, Ksenia Kozlova and Peyton McDaniel led the way for James Madison this year.
What a deadly duo. 28 points per game combined for the two. They were true focal points of last year's team, and now this year the newcomers and transfers have sharpened the duo even more.
Jacayla Johnson, Aislinn Hayes, Zay Dyer making up the other 3 on the first team. Moving on to the second team all-conference, and this is where Louisiana's Erica Lafayette shined. First player for Louisiana since the 2016-17 season with over 400 points.
Yeah, newcomer of the year and second team here. Head coach Gary Broadhead saying that she's never seen a shot she doesn't like, and that's the mentality that made her 3rd in the Sun Belt in scoring this year.
Zion Shannon for Arkansas State, Savannah Brooks, India Buford, and Malia Grayson make up the other members of the second team this year. Well, we've got a big second half upcoming in Pensacola. When we come back, we'll take a look at highlights and stats from the first half. Back in Pensacola, where we have a 5-point game at the break between Georgia Southern and Georgia State. This rivalry game living up to the billing here, at least through one half, as we welcome you inside the Bank Plus studios here in New Orleans. She's Amanda, I'm Noah, and Amanda, we were curious, what would Georgia Southern look like playing on the third game in 3 days? They got off to the slow start. Johnson gets in early foul trouble, but man, did they respond nicely.
Yeah, you think that was worst situation when Leah Johnson goes out with 2 fouls, but then you have other players step up. Buki Akinsola able to have a career day, perfect from the field. They found other players from the bench to really spark life into this Georgia Southern offense that's struggling against Georgia State's defense, but they're crashing the boards and winning that battle.
Now, Amanda, if you're Georgia State here, how do you feel after you get off to the hot start and now you're trailing by 5 at the break?
I mean, you go back to what you're good at, right? They continue to have that on-ball pressure that's causing a lot of turnovers, but it's capitalizing on those turnovers. Only about 11 points, I think, off of turnovers in that first half when they could have way more. This margin could be a little bit different. You got to slow down this Georgia Southern offense.
Well, let's take a look at some highlights from an exciting first half in Pensacola. It started with a career day from Buki Akinsola, career-high 14 points in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt she has athleticism. Her ability to get to the rim is unmatched right now. And then she unlocks this perimeter shooting as well, lighting up the floor from the perimeter for the first time today for both teams. But then she continues to attack the paint. But here it is. Maze Prince caps off this first half with a buzzer beater, getting that steal, something Georgia State does well, but giving it right back.
She stole the show, but for Georgia State, it was Crystal Henderson and Michaela Tollivert who combined for 16 points.
Yeah, this duo has been the life of the offense so far today, getting heavily relied on to create something. They keep attacking the paint. Tollivert taking some tough mid-range jumpers there, but crushing them because they haven't been able to get their threes to go.
Georgia State led by as many as 10 in that opening half, but trailing by 5 here at the break as we get a look at our first half stats. Georgia Southern right now just putting shots in the basket, and that's how you deal with tired legs.
Right, and they don't have as many possessions, as many field goal attempts as Georgia State, but they're making it count. 58% from the field, very efficient for Georgia Southern. Something they did a great job of in their previous 2 games in this tournament is being able to be efficient with each possession they get. Akinsola
hit a couple of threes. Maze Prince, you saw the buzzer beater for 3 more there at the end of the first half. The lid came off the basket from downtown for Georgia Southern. Well, we've got a big second half in store, the 60th ever meeting between State and Southern. It's living up to the billing here early on. Georgia Southern up by 5 at the break. It's Southern right now, 38-33 here in round 3 of these Sun Belt Women's Basketball Championships. Going to look at the leading scores for Georgia Southern, and right now it's Buki Akinsola leading the way, but India Green did such a stepping up when Leah Johnson went out with some early foul trouble.
Yeah, 10 points and 7 rebounds already in that first half, really attacking the rim, battling it out in the paint for some second chance opportunities.
Now on the other side for Georgia State, a fairly balanced attack across the board. Henderson has 8, so does Tollivert, and then Maya Williams with a nice 7 off the bench.
Yeah, these guards have really just been attacking the paint here, trying to put some people in foul trouble, trying to get up some good baskets here.
Hey, we've almost reached the end of this first page of the bracket. Still 4 more rounds to follow after the conclusion of this one. Louisiana and Marshall later on today. Amanda, what has you excited about that matchup?
Well, I'm excited to see Erica Lafayette. I mean, I liked watching her during the season too. I mean, she doesn't miss many shots. She likes every shot that she takes, so she's been fun to watch. But this Marshall team, so heavily reliant on the 3, and they haven't really seen it go in these first 2 rounds, so how they respond in the 3rd round will be interesting.
10 teams still mathematically had a chance to win a Sun Belt title coming into today. There will only be 9 remaining in about 20 minutes, unless this one goes to overtime, which these teams did during the regular season, but still a lot of basketball left to play. It will be Georgia State basketball, and Amanda, we touched on it briefly. How does that 3 at the end by Maze Prince kind of change your emotions going into halftime?
Well, to get going like that, you know, offensively, to have Maze Prince sink one like that, cap it off, coming out on top. Georgia Southern started off so slow, but a play like that can pick up the pace.
She's Amanda Poole. I'm Noah Frary. Thanks for joining us for this first of 2 games in round 3 as Mahogany Matthews gets 1 block closer to 100 on the season.
She hadn't had a block yet, so I was waiting for that one. 98 now this year.
A lot of minutes right now for this Georgia Southern team. Nearly a turnover there in transition.
That's just it. Georgia Southern has turned the ball over quite a lot. 14 turnovers, yet they're still able to find this lead.
Henderson almost lost it, able to retrieve. Was looking for Matthews. Green picked her pocket. Akinsola had 14 in that first stab, blows by. And she will draw the personal.
Akinsola bringing a lot of energy to this offense. She's the first one down that floor in transition, earning her place here at the line.
And I wasn't sure if they were going to call that in the act of shooting. They did, so Akinsola gets the continuation. Connects on the first free throw. 15 points today for Buki Akinsola. Previous career high was 13 against Louisiana back at the end of December. This is the second. Georgia State looking for a spark to reignite their offense. Tollivert might have just gave them one.
No surprise, that spark coming from Tollivert there. We know she gets her hands on the ball a lot, just a matter of when she can make something happen.
That basket now giving her 16 consecutive games scoring in double figures. Cole Gwynn has been a bit quiet today. Has the ball, looking inside for Johnson. And those passes that were executed perfectly in the first 2 rounds just have not been there today.
Yeah, that's the 5th turnover for Gwynn. Uncharacteristic of her. One of the leaders offensively facilitating there as a guard for this Georgia Southern team. But a little bit of a funk right now, but everybody else seemingly stepping up. Akinsola with a career day.
Henderson trying to free herself. Finds Matthews, the 17-footer, nothing but nylon.
Great job by Matthews to produce something on offense. We talk so much about her defense, but she puts up about 7 points per game.
Down low for Johnson, and it goes through the wickets.
Second bad pass in a row as Georgia Southern can't get their offense going here in the 3rd.
A 6-1 run for Georgia State to begin the 3rd.
This is what happened in that ULM game. Georgia Southern really struggled coming out of that locker room in the third quarter.
Tolliver looking for the three. She's got it. Providing a huge spark here at the beginning of the third quarter.
That's her first three of the day, something we're used to seeing her do a lot more of. That'll really spark some confidence in this Georgia State team.
After trailing by 5 at the break, Georgia State scored 9 out of the first 10 points here in the third to regain the lead. Southern trying to establish the post right now, but having problems. Akinsola high off the glass. Matthews with the rebound.
Georgia State definitely made some adjustments on Akinsola.
Tolliver's feeling it. Threw it up. And will that be a foul on Leah Johnson?
Tolliver getting going here from the perimeter, finding her footing after going cold in the first half.
Unfortunately for Georgia Southern, the answer to that question was no. The foul going to be on India Green, so that's her second. Johnson stays at 2. Now both bigs for Georgia Southern with 2 fouls apiece here early in the third. 7 third quarter points already for Tolliver. Full court pressure here for Georgia State. Akinsola had 3 bodies around her, able to dribble out of the trouble.
Yeah, you don't normally want to get it in that corner, but somehow able to get out of there.
Looking inside for Johnson, just 4 points today. Gives it up for Green. Henderson fighting amongst the trees for the rebound. Gets free, throws it up. And Henderson creating something out of nothing.
Henderson driving with the step over, gets kind of caught on Maze Prince there as she throws it up. Henderson is on this court quite often when it comes to playtime for Georgia State. She's second in the Sun Belt when it comes to minutes per game. She never really takes breaks. Ball is life for this girl.
Hannah Hayden sharing a laugh with the center official. It's been a heated game so far as Henderson hits a pair. The lead is 7. Georgia Southern having all sorts of trouble with this pressure. Mays is in trouble. Now they settle things down. Maze Prince, 5 on the shot clock. This is Simmons, guarded by Henderson. She'll take the 3, in and out, and a foul underneath the basket. That will go against Georgia State. And now Georgia Southern's gonna get a fresh 20 on the shot clock.
That's big right there. Georgia State almost just got an open possession.
And even bigger, that's 3 personal fouls now on Mahogany Matthews. Still on the floor. If you're Georgia Southern, you want to go right at her, but instead you turn it over. 17th turnover of the day.
12th steal for Georgia State, something they do so well, really put on display here in the tournament.
Henderson stepped on the baseline. Good defense there from Akinsola.
Using that baseline as another defender, squishing her in there.
Southern a better job at breaking the full court pressure these last 2 possessions. Down low for Johnson. Kick out. Maze Prince looking for her second 3. Battle for the rebound. That one out of bounds. It will go back to Georgia State. And they did call a foul on that play. It will be on Leah Johnson. So now both bigs with 3 personals here in the third.
Now, as coaches, you're curious on how they play this out. Leah Johnson hasn't been able to make a big impact, just 4 points, 1 rebound today.
Matthews is off the floor. Hannah Hayden chooses to stick with Leah Johnson. Touched out of bounds. The Panthers keep possession. Hannah Hayden showing a lot of faith here in Leah Johnson, playing with 3 personals early in the third. Williams over Johnson. Ahead for Akinsola. Can't finish. But it goes out of bounds and stays with Georgia Southern.
Every possession so important here for Georgia Southern. Akinsola open for that layup, just couldn't finish.
And Hayden working hard on the sideline right now for Georgia Southern. Trying to will this team to round number 4. Holloman playing defense on the inbounder. That was Eddings who just came in. Mace Prince in trouble. Johnson throws it away.
Great pressure by Georgia State to earn that possession, really collapsing on Leah Johnson.
Addy drives downhill, throws it up. And we'll head to the free throw line. And that'll take us to a media break in Pensacola. Georgia State has outscored Georgia Southern 13-1 here in the third quarter. They lead by 7 at the break.
Visit Springs, a better way to tackle home improvement. Home Outlet. Kitchens, baths, floors, doors, and more at the guaranteed lowest price. The Sun Belt Conference is proud to use Wilson basketballs. Wilson is now used by more teams than any other ball and is also the official ball of the NBA and NCAA March Madness. Learn more at wilson.com. And now fans, let's welcome the Georgia Southern cheerleaders to the floor. It's time for our SBC t-shirt toss. Folks, let's hear it. Who wants a free t-shirt?
Gus the Eagle trying to spark his team here. They have come out of halftime flat. They have scored just 1 point here in the third quarter after leading by 5 at the break. Meanwhile, Georgia State's added 13, and they lead by 7.
Yeah, it's really been, falling flat coming out of the half. They were 3 of 4 from the perimeter in that second quarter for Georgia Southern, so they found some spark, right, from that three-point line, but now 0 of 7 from the field to start this third quarter. Just haven't been able to see some shots fall in. And obviously, Leah Johnson, only with 4 points so far today, she hasn't been able to make the impact that we've seen in those first 2 tournament games.
Scoring's been a little bit light lately. Georgia State hasn't scored in 2 minutes. Georgia Southern, it's been 4.5. Crystal Henderson at the free throw line, a chance to change that, and the drought continues. Rather, that was Addy at the free throw line, hits the second. So an oasis found in the midst of the Sahara. The lead is 8 for Georgia State. And Maze Prince just overwhelmed.
Georgia Southern has had big struggles right when they get over that half court and that trap comes, they can't get out.
5 turnovers over the last 4.5 minutes for the Eagles. Henderson stops on a dime. The shot goes in and out. Green trying to get it inside. And we'll get a foul underneath. And you saw Patience Williams, when the whistle came, she says, "What, me?"
They're just battling for position down there, but it's just a matter of if an elbow comes up or if it's a shove, if it's something. I mean, the refs are looking at that because obviously the bigs are just trying to fight for position. Leah Johnson trying to get open there, and Patience Williams just trying to fight back.
Georgia Southern ending the scoring drought there. First basket in over 5 minutes of this game. That was Eddings. Henderson, how's that not a travel? Williams working downhill, got to the rim. Williams creates the second chance, and we'll get a foul underneath. And that's the 4th foul on Leah Johnson. That's the risk you take.
Fighting for the rebound there, Leah Johnson just behind Patience Williams, leaning in, drawing that foul. Coach Hannah Hayden has to send one of her best players to the bench.
Johnson has averaged 25 points per game through the first 2 games of this tournament, 26 in round 1, 24 yesterday. But today she's just never gotten going after getting into early foul trouble.
Now you've got to lean on India Green and Eddings and Jones, some other players that can get hot there and battle in the paint. Georgia State with an edge now.
South Florida transfer Patience Williams with a pair of free throws. And confusion on the inbounds. Jones is in trouble. Just got it across. What makes that full court so tough to beat?
It's just hard to see ahead. You can't see where your teammates are to pass them the ball because they're picking you up right when you step over that line.
And an offensive foul called there against India Green. And the bigs in this game are being officiated as tightly as possible.
It's so hard not to draw contact when you're just fighting for position down there. That arm comes up, though. Anything to the face, they're going to pull out.
That's the right call.
Right.
But the point still stands. The bigs have been officiated extremely tight in this game. Johnson with 4 fouls, Green with 3, Matthews also with 3. None of them have been able to get going today. Henderson, great find. Williams at the rim.
Just a miscommunication on that screen set. They had 2 guarding 1, which leaves the other open.
A 16-3 run here to begin the third quarter. Georgia Southern looking for any sort of answer. Fuller has a basket there. Georgia State is up by 10, trailed by 5 at the half. They've looked great here in the third.
Vince Lafayette is at the heart of Louisiana's Cajun and Creole country, an area known as the Baptist Tradition. Its distinctive blend of music all over down south with a smile. Visit LafayetteCopper.com so you can get away today. And Vince, the fun doesn't stop this week. Join us for Military Appreciation Day on Friday, our SBC Dribble Drive and Fan Fest on Saturday, and a halftime performance by Dominique Cannons on Monday. We can't wait to see you for more Sun Belt basketball action.
An 8-point game here in the third quarter. Georgia State in the lead after trailing at the half. They've been impressive in the third. 18-5, the difference right now in scoring in this third quarter. What's impressed you most about Georgia State offensively here in the third, Amanda?
Well, offensively, I was going to say defensively, right? They're getting a lot of stops. Offensively, though, they've been able to attack the paint, put Georgia Southern in foul trouble, something that they are having a problem dealing with right now with Leah Johnson out.
Well, Georgia State and Georgia Southern battling here. We'll get another matchup of Georgia State versus Georgia Southern later in the day. Before that, though, Marshall and Louisiana to end round 3, the women's side. And then Texas State and Old Dominion facing off later tonight. A steal here on the inbounds. Georgia Southern gets it right back. Still plenty of time to work back into this one. But you have to wonder if some of the struggles here in the third quarter are due in part to playing in their third consecutive game in 3 days. Tolliver going to draw the personal.
And that's normally sometimes why fouls happen, if players get tired and their defense gets sloppy. So you wonder if that's also an issue with Leah Johnson's tired and, you know, trying to overcompensate for her inability to get down the floor, and some players just outworked.
That was the 4th foul there on Georgia State. Here's Jones in the corner, guarded by Maya Williams. Deep in the shot clock. Jones out in just 5 seconds to work with on the shot clock.
Georgia State doing a nice job of contesting every shot. Georgia Southern has to earn everything.
Only Green, the top offensive weapon on the floor right now for Georgia Southern. Eddings with it, pulls over Williams, and Fuller creates a chance. Now Green converts with it.
Their first second chance points of this ball game. Rebounding going to be big down the stretch.
Turnover in transition. A run coming perhaps for Georgia Southern. Working it around the perimeter. Green thought about going inside. 8 on the shot clock, it's Eddings. Takes the 3. This time she'll connect. And Georgia Southern's back within 3. And Jean Hill wants a timeout.
Eddings, one of their best three-point shooters, just hasn't been able to find her stride today, but now they're giving her the chance to step up, knock one down, something they've been missing in this second half, but Eddings has them covered.
She had to rush the long shot a moment ago. Fuller able to create the offensive rebound. You get the turnover in transition, and the big 3 there from Eddings. So Georgia Southern, maybe a little bit of gas left in the tank. It feels like they're running on fumes right now, but trying to power through it.
Yeah, you see one of your best players, Leah Johnson, sitting on the bench. You know, hey, I got to be the next person up right now. My team needs me. And you've got a lot of seniors, a lot of experience on this team, players that don't want to have their season end yet.
A veteran team for Georgia Southern. 9 out of the 14 players, including all 5 starters for this team, are upperclassmen.
But it's interesting, all this experience, but not a lot of experience together on this Georgia Southern team. 13 newcomers, but Hannah Hayden doing a nice job of bringing in some experienced transfers.
Hey, the only good thing for Georgia Southern, Hannah Hayden has given kind of the spoke of that wheel in the middle. 7 out of on the roster have played for her in the past. Under a minute to go in the third. Georgia Southern came in leading by 5. Georgia State took what was once a 10-point edge. They've cut it to a 1-possession game here late. Henderson was trying to find Matthews. Georgia Southern can tie this game with a 3. Jones considered it. This possession huge for momentum heading to the 4th quarter. Eddings hit the 3 the last time, drives off the glass, it's a 1-point game.
The Eagles feeding the hot hand, Eddings feeling it.
7 in the 3rd quarter for Eddings. Maya Williams brings it across. Addie trapped. Under 10 on the game clock. Henderson standing out near the logo. Drives on Fuller. Working inside. Henderson gets it to go with the buzzer. And we're trading buzzer beaters here in Pensacola. These 2 rivals are going at it. Georgia State and Crystal Henderson making a big play here at the end of the 3rd. It's State by 3 as we head to the 4th quarter in Pensacola.
Fans, please turn your attention to the video board and scan the QR code to play our SBC Scramble.
Fourth quarter time in Pensacola right now. Georgia State staked to a 3-point lead, 53-50 over Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern continuing to shoot it well, but Georgia State looked like the better offensive team in that third quarter, but much part to their defense.
Yeah, Georgia State is fueled by their defense, something they're known for, right, with those steals, those blocks, ability to get those points off of turnovers. But Georgia Southern has stayed in this game. Look at those assists, the ball movement, getting, sharing the ball, sharing the love here as Eddings puts up 7 points in that quarter to really fuel this team.
So a 3-point game here in the 60th meeting between these two programs. Akinsola had a couple of threes early, misses that one, and Georgia State will have possession.
Georgia State hasn't really been able to get that three going. 1 of 7 from the perimeter. They normally put up 7 threes per game.
Tolliver had a big third quarter, 7 points in that third. Matthews triggers and connects.
18 three-pointer from Matthews, the big, coming out big from the perimeter there. She's just 28% from the arc, but there she is, draining one for her team.
It's been hard for her to get going today. Picked up a couple of early fouls. She's sitting with 3 right now. Green almost walked. This is Jones. Eddings in the corner. Doesn't go. Jones with a second chance. It's blocked by Matthews. 99 blocks this year for 25 and white. Already the program record holder in block shots for a single season. Tolliver, no. Akinsola downhill, offensive foul.
Maya Williams putting her body on the line here for Georgia State. Kick out to Mahogany Matthews for the 3. We talk about her defensive game so much, but see her shine from beyond the arc.
Matthews today a quiet 5 points, a couple of blocks. She's been called the fixer for this Georgia State team. Such a huge addition. She was with Marshall last year during their run to the NCAA tournament. Ends up with Georgia State after Danny White hired Kim Caldwell to take over at Tennessee.
Yeah, fixer, mistake eraser. If her teammates get beat defensively, she's there to hold off their guard.
Panthers stretch the lead back to 8. Leah Johnson back in, playing with 4 personal fouls. This is Green. And Matthews has the rebound over Johnson. Georgia Southern can make this a double-digit lead. And that one touches the baseline, and Georgia Southern's players not understanding. They thought Henderson lost the ball out of bounds. So instead it stays with Georgia State. Tolliver has 17 today, and she's fouled on the drive.
Tolliver just keeps on attacking the paint, drawing these fouls, knowing how the officials are calling this one, getting herself to the line. This is a Georgia State team that's gotten to the line 8 times so far today, 16 of 19 in free throws.
It's been the big difference maker so far. 10 more points at the free throw line than Georgia Southern has, make it 11, as Tolliver's up to 18 on the day. This is the second. Akinsola pushing, left hand, won't go. And now Green has just picked up her 4th personal foul.
That's tough. That puts Georgia Southern in a tight spot here. They're dominant bigs. They're bigs in that paint present, now in foul trouble.
feels right now that Georgia Southern's season is on the precipice. Hanging by a thread here in the fourth quarter with Georgia State up by 9. These two teams split during the regular season. Henderson gets downhill, threw it up. Eddings has the rebound and Georgia Southern's pushing. Green looking inside for Johnson. She can't make the catch. Now out of bounds, and you have to wonder how all of the minutes the last couple of days have affected Leah Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, that's running down the court back and forth, putting up, career high minutes when it comes to the over 30 minutes per game here and back to back days. It's a lot on your body.
Obviously the fouls hurt her day, but she has just not looked like the same dominant force we saw the first 2 days of this tournament. Inside for Green. And we'll draw the foul. There was some confusion there. Georgia Southern thought that was in the act of shooting, but it will be on the floor. So the Eagles have it on the baseline as Holloman checks back in.
I think Green was going to shoot, but then she pivoted around and was fouled while she was pivoting.
3 fouls now on Maya Williams. Wind's been a non-factor for most of the day. Johnson couldn't haul that one in. She'll get it back. Green, short.
That's a good look right there. You get it into Leah. It opens up Green for a wide open, just mid-range jumper. Just doesn't fall.
Addy driving downhill. Somehow got it back to Matthews, who throws it out of bounds. Gene Hill with a nice catch on the sideline. I don't think he wanted to catch that one. He's working hard on the sideline.
I know, I've been hearing him in my headset, hear him yelling, coaching up his players from the bench, getting them excited, pushing them. He's done this for a while now, 7th season with Georgia State, finding a lot of success in this tournament recently.
2 winning seasons in his last 3 years. He came into this tournament 500. Still a chance for a winning season. Wide open, the 3. And knocked down by Akinsola, who's got 18 today.
3 for 3 from the perimeter. Talk about finding your rhythm, stepping up, taking that one little dribble, step away, finding her spot, and knocking down the 3.
Plenty of intrigue still left in this one. Under 5 minutes to go here in the fourth. Addy's open, it's denied. Eddings got her hand all over it.
The 6-foot wingspan coming at you from the perimeter. They're a little late to the closeout, but it's okay. Her arm gets in the way, stops that play.
Georgia State up by 6 midway through the fourth. It has been a high-octane battle between Georgia Southern and Georgia State, the 60th ever meeting between these two programs. So far today, Georgia State in the driver's seat. Georgia Southern, it started to look like they were running out of gas, but they battled back here late. And look at a foul underneath. Tolliver went to the floor. And they may review this.
Yeah, I think Gwynn had an arm up there on Tolliver underneath the basket.
Both teams being sent to their bench. Here's a look. So they will go to video review. Currently called a common foul on the floor. They will go to review. They will go to review to see if this is a foul that should be upgraded. We saw this a couple of times yesterday, common fouls that were then upgraded to intentional fouls.
Yep, taking a look at Gwynn, trying to get the rebound there, but catches Tolliver kind of near the throat with that elbow. They're taking a look to see if it needs to be upgraded. Yeah, we saw this a couple times yesterday. Officials taking their time figuring out what action needs to be taken.
And the standard here is if it was excessive, if it was outside of a basketball play. All three officials will get a look at this. They'll come together, make a decision, and as we saw yesterday, the two head coaches generally will come together and be shared the decision at the same time. And Amanda, I'm normally pretty confident on these. I don't have as much of a read on this one.
Yeah, well, our angle is from behind too. I can't really see what's going on in the front there and where that ball is. It looks like they're just both going for the rebound, but Gwynn's arm placement, that elbow to a throat.
Officials normally, anytime that there's contact that could rise to this level made to the head, will generally take the moment to go look at the replay monitor. If this was upgraded to intentional, you would have two free throws that would be shot by Georgia State in addition to the foul. The foul count would stay at 4 for Georgia Southern, so Georgia State would not yet be in the bonus. Ultimately, the officials will make the decision, but after seeing it, I would trend more towards this being a basketball play, but we've been wrong in the past.
Yeah, well, we've seen, I mean, the ball was right there. It's different when they're way off the ball, then they kind of wonder if it is a basketball.
On the floor stands.
So by standing, it will just be a common foul underneath, so they will not upgrade this to an intentional foul.
Normally when that ball is right there, you can tell that it's a basketball play, but it's those off-the-ball fouls that can be upgraded.
So a foul on Nicole Gwynn, still scoreless in this game.
Yeah, and she's her leading scorer. You know, she's been one that Georgia State has really locked up.
And now the officials having a further conversation. This might be about clock or shot clock. Looks like they were okay with where the clock currently stood. They're being told they were double checking possession and who should have it. So after the delay, a return to action. Henderson at the top, guarded by Akinsola, who's had the big day. Johnson got her hand on it. Georgia Southern needs to take advantage. Ahead to Eddings, spins, doesn't get it to go.
It's a tough shot by Eddings. Maybe you take a second and reset, knowing you're kind of over-guarded.
That felt like a player maybe trying to be a little too aggressive.
Well, I mean, you're coming down this stretch. You don't want to go home. You're just trying to get something for your team. Different mentality in the postseason.
Henderson flanked by Akinsola. Tolliver, front iron.
A tough shot to make, going to 360 and trying to pull up and square yourself with the basket.
Georgia State leaving the door cracked open. Just 1 for their last 7 from the field. They haven't scored in 3.5 minutes, but Georgia Southern has not been able to take advantage. Eddings trying to change that, and does.
Eddings really making an impact in this second half. 11 points for her coming in the second half here. She tries to hype her team up.
Georgia State clinging to a 4-point lead. They trailed by 5 at the break. Henderson trying to do it on her own. And Johnson has the rebound. Georgia Southern can make this a one-possession game. And Akinsola lost it out of bounds. It looked to the naked eye like that had gone off of her leg, but they're going to say that went out off of Georgia State.
Akinsola driving. Ball looks like it's going off of Georgia State's shin.
Good call. Akinsola directing traffic. Here's Gwynn, still scoreless today. Green going inside, Johnson wide. But Johnson on the second chance, and this is a 2-point game.
Matthew picks up her 100th block this season, but Leah Johnson prevails.
She's never found a rhythm today. Speaking of Leah Johnson, Bigs get there to make this a 2-point contest. Henderson goes to the basketball. Serpentining inside and a foul on the floor. But that will be the 5th personal on Georgia Southern. So Georgia State will shoot 2 at the line.
Matthews squaring up with Johnson, gets the block. Leah says, I'm gonna go back right at you. Lace it in.
Best on best. Akinsola picking up her 3rd personal foul. And Henderson misses short. 14 today for Crystal Henderson, but still scoreless here in the 4th quarter. And hits the second. The lead is 3. Akinsola, the double came. Johnson trying to gain position inside. Trying to slip it to Green, it's turned over.
Johnson passing before looking.
A big possession here for Georgia State as they try to keep their season alive. Henderson, no. Georgia Southern can tie with a 3. Gwynn with the basketball. It's Akinsola. Gwynn on the near sideline. This is Gwynn with the ball. Scoreless today. Hunting for her first points. She'll draw the foul on the shot. No, they're gonna say it was in the act of passing. And now the official's gonna come together to discuss.
Take a look at Matthews there coming down with that foul. I believe, yeah, they put her to the line. That was a shooting foul.
That replay, though, made me feel like it could have gone either way. It's hard to get into the mind there of Gwynn, but it looked like she was going up for the shot and then maybe at the last second thought about dumping it inside. But nonetheless, a foul in the act of shooting, and Gwynn here in the 4th quarter will pick up her first 2 points, and this is a 1-point game.
Well, Coach Hayden yesterday saying that you have to find a way and you only have to be 1 point better at this stage.
These 2 teams have played some thrillers already this year. One of them went to triple overtime. Arguably the game of the year in this conference. They've given us another one here today. Henderson, and a tie-up. Possession arrow, though, will keep it with Georgia State. What a play there from Akinsola.
Yeah, she's done it on both ends of the floor tonight. Today, excuse me. 18 points from Akinsola, but some big steals from her to really
Matthews. And that's the first basket from the field in 7 minutes for Georgia State. Matthews gives the Panthers a 4-point lead.
A normally defensive spark for this team, but she's been able to get the job done, putting up points for the Panthers.
Matthews, not known as a gifted three-point shooter. There's none bigger than that. The biggest shot of the game there for 25 in white. And some precious breathing room for Jean Hillside. So now you're Georgia Southern, you're getting this ball back. Amanda, what are you thinking here?
I mean, I like Akinsola's ability to get to the rim. Her athleticism has been really great on both ends of the floor, but maybe Gwynn. I mean, she just got herself to the line in the last possession. You've got Eddings with the hot hand as well. You've got a couple options. It's just a matter of making some smart passes because this Georgia State team is eager to jump on you and intercept those lanes.
But the one thing we know, and I would think you'd be in agreement, you don't need a three yet.
Correct. I'd say get a quick two or set something up solid and then rely on your defense to hold off Georgia State for another possession.
Leah Johnson walking out of the huddle there. There's Buki Akinsola, career day for her. 18, hit a big three already here in the fourth quarter. A 4-point game between Southern and State here in the fourth quarter. The 12th seed Georgia Southern trying to advance and win their third game in 3 days. This is Georgia State's debut in the tournament. Back into the hands of Akinsola, recycled here to Johnson through the contact. And Hannah Hayden says, where's the foul? She's got to be careful not to get a technical. She was awfully far on the court. And Hannah Hayden might have had a case.
Leah Johnson going up to a ref as well, asking them for some feedback. She's battling up against two defenders every time she goes up.
Those two bigs, Green and Johnson, have been heavily officiated in this game, both with 4 personal fouls. A lot of contact on that play, but no foul. And Matthews really did a nice job of keeping those hands up. So Addie at the other end on the free throw line, and Hannah Hayden is still fuming. Addie hits them both, and the lead is 6.
Panthers with 20 points just from free throws alone today.
And a foul in transition. It's the 3rd foul on Georgia State, so still a couple of fouls to give.
Yeah, they've done a nice job with their defensive intensity, not picking up too many fouls like that with their on-ball defense.
Second foul on Addie. Georgia Southern with it on the sideline. Gwynn was thinking about a quick three. Takes the three, it's blocked, and Tolliver has it back. And now you've got a foul to extend this game. And now some emotion starting to boil over a little bit here in Pensacola. The officials have to be careful here. These two longtime rivals have played a hotly contested game, and you can see Jean Hill trying to calm down Michaela Tolliver.
Tolliver's so important to this team and how it runs. 18 points from her today. Keep her composed in the final stretch.
Jean Hill told us that Michaela Tolliver, she got calls in the offseason trying to get her to leave Georgia State and go to a bigger program. People tried, but she chose to stay. She's been such a consistent force offensively throughout her career, particularly this year, putting up career best numbers. Tolliver hits them both. She's got 20 today. And it looked like that might have been a little wave right there to Georgia Southern, up by 8. We've got another game coming up after this one. Louisiana and Marshall scheduled for 2 p.m. Central. Might get started a little bit after 2 p.m. Central based on the conclusion of this game. Georgia Southern still mathematically with a chance right now, Amanda, but this is a lot of ground to make up here in just over 30 seconds.
Yeah, they dug themselves into a hole to start this second half in that third quarter, really struggled offensively to get something going, and then they just turned the ball over too many times. Georgia State's defense getting the job done, forcing 23 turnovers today in that column.
And you can see Hannah Hayden is still fired up about that no call inside. That was Georgia Southern's last time out of this game. Advanced into the front court, need a quick three. Akinsola takes it, and Matthews has the rebound. And now the foul for Eddings, and we'll walk 90-plus feet down the court.
Georgia Southern not used to relying on that three ball. 11th in this conference in three-pointers per game. They only make about 5. They've already made 5 today, exceeding expectations in the postseason.
Crystal Henderson will go to the line, trying to put this one on ice. Comes up short here, and for Georgia Southern, it appears, at least at the moment, unlikely to come out on top, but a Georgia Southern team that clearly trending in the right direction here at the end of the year. Last year, not as much, but 4 consecutive wins here to end the year as Henderson misses them both, so the door's still open. Gwynn, look at the three. Oh my! It went in! Back to a 5-point game, and Georgia State calls the timeout.
A hand in her face, looked like coming off of 1 foot. She chucked that one up, it drains in. Now she's an elite three-point shooter who had a tough start to the season when it came to that perimeter shooting. A really slow start today. Now able to come up clutch for this Georgia Southern team. Energy there from.
And that's actually going to be a 2. You saw the officiating crew right on top of it. That right foot was on that three-point line. It is the blue line, not the yellow line. So that will be a 2. It's a 6-point game instead of 5. Now if you're Georgia Southern here, you want to play some tight defense, maybe try to force a steal before fouling. Into the hands of Matthews, now Williams. Georgia Southern doesn't foul. Now they will. Like about 3+ seconds went off the clock there. Jean Hillside, though, in a great position, looking to advance at this tournament. They earned their first Sun Belt tournament win 2 years ago in Pensacola. Prior to that, it has been a string of first or second round exits. But just moments away here from advancing to the 4th round and setting up a matchup with Old Dominion, who they went 1-1 against during the regular season. Williams calmly sinks them both. The lead is 8. Akinsola locates Eddings. Her 3 goes in. Inbounded to Henderson. And at least one more foul in this game.
Big shot by Eddings there. We've seen her be able to pull up some big ones like that, but you just don't know if it's too little, too late as Georgia State gets sent back to the line.
I think unless Reggie Miller is in the building, it's probably too late.
But you have to give credit to this Georgia Southern team for what they were able to do in these first 3 rounds of the tournament.
Even Reggie Miller might struggle with just 2.9 seconds left in a game. Henderson making it a 2-possession game. This to seal it. In and out. Time for one more shot. Eddings with the half-court heave, and it won't go. And this time, it stayed on top in Pensacola. The 60th meeting between these two programs living up to the hype. Jean Hill there with a sigh of relief.
Yeah, I mean, holding Leah Johnson to just 6 points today after she had back-to-back 24, 26-point performances in this tournament. That Georgia State defense put on a show.
Hayden and Hill having a quick discussion right there. Those two have given us some great battles here today. Georgia State coming out on top thanks to the play of Michaela Tolliver. 22 today. She is our Jersey Mike's player of the game.
She found so many ways to impact this game today, picking up several steals as well. Her defense leading to offense, some tough mid-range jumpers. She pulled up from 3 for this team. She has done it all.
14 points in the second half for Tolliver. She puts up 7 in the fourth quarter. And their best offensive weapon has carried Georgia State into round number 4. The Panthers season stays alive. They will face Old Dominion tomorrow. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back, look at some final stats, and wrap things up here on the first game of round 3. The 2025 Sun Belt Basketball Championships are brought to you by Jersey Mike's, a sub above, by VivenU, the new era of event ticketing, James Madison University alumni, Dukes from day one, alumni for life. Visit alumni.jmu.edu. Trade in and trade up to a new Kia at Pensacola's Kia Autosport. We want to see ya in a Kia. And by SoldOut.com, the official ticket resale marketplace for the Sun Belt Conference. One season comes to an end, the other continues into round 4. This time it's State, not Southern, as Georgia State picks up the 6-point win, and they did a lot of great work at the free throw line today, Amanda.
Yeah, great job doing the little things right. 25 points coming from that charity stripe, but they did a great job of attacking Georgia Southern, putting them in foul trouble, and Georgia State doing what it does best, the steals. 15 steals, look at that, 19 fast break points. That's easy bunnies for them to take this one.
Georgia Southern got some great performances off the bench with some of their starters in foul trouble, but just not enough today. As their season comes to an end, they will finish 16-18 on the year. Well, we had some fun, so did Gus. Pouncey was having fun as well. Georgia State on top by 6. So for Amanda Poole, Tim Fanguy, the rest of our crew, I'm Noah Frary saying so long from Pensacola. All games airing on ESPN are archived and streaming live on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of Sunbelt Women's Basketball on ESPN.